Can I get an opinion really quick?
I could put this in my pocket and go anywhere. And I needed a hit. I feel like a junkie who needs a hit.
Love a tortured male character.
Darling! Yeah. So, where do y'all live?
I know y'all read these books as YN. Like, I love Gwispo.
So is she in heels?
And we think of an original title, For the Love of God. He's mainly in his, like, human body form. Oh yeah, the Shadow Man. Consequence. Because it's bad. Sorry, I'm just thinking about him having, like, a mortal apartment. With his Porsche. Yeah, like a cookbook for meth. In
I'm
seventh
just a
grade.
girl.
I'm just a girl who wants a switchblade.
I don't know why she likes that crusty motherfucker.
Yes! I'm back. And alive.
Well, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Outside of the 4 a.m. wake up, I'm great.
Yay!
Oh, shit. So, what have you been up to this week?
I guess you could say like a lot of reading because my job has changed ever so slightly. So I'm actually proctoring AP exams. Not that anyone was wondering. But it's been an experience because I've never done that before. And also I don't like obviously they're all like juniors or seniors in high school, so like I weirdly feel close to their age. Except that I'm old and like not close to their age and or maturity level at all. But for some reason I'm like stressed out around these kids. I'm like they're judging me.
No,
Um
it's the like perpetual like if I see a teenager in public, I'm afraid they're judging me.
yeah, like I was at the mall yesterday because I had to do some returns. And this is the mall that I would go to as a middle school and as a high schooler to like shoot the shit with my friends. And I text one of those friends who I used to go to the mall with, and I was like, "Am I too old to be here?" Because it's like,
Yeah.
I literally am actually too old. Like, specifically at that time, at the like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock hour, because like they're all out of school, so like they're gonna go hang out with their friends. And when I have to go to the mall, one, it's a chore because I hate that place.
Yeah.
And two, it's usually right when they open, so the mall's filled with like old ladies and like people in their 50s. And I'm like, that's who I feel comfortable around.
My people.
Yeah, I'm my people. So,
Yeah.
it was just kind of like, oh, okay. So, I actually can't be in any of these stores. I'm getting weird looks, like even by the employees.
I got things to do. Leave me
You know,
alone.
I'm like, I have a job where I can't come, like, and I have a job at a school, so I have to come in when all the kids are also here because they've left.
But you get off at like a normal time, I feel like. That's like when most people would run an errand. Except I think as someone like who has Thursday, Fridays off
Yeah.
in their week, I've noticed that a lot of people work from home or like maybe just because I live in the suburbs, a lot of people are like stay at home people and they just run errands whenever. Like there is no good time to run an errand here because there's always
Yeah.
traffic, there's always a million people somewhere. Like God forbid you go to Costco any day of the week.
Oh, no, it's actually terrible. I keep telling my parents, I was like, you guys like have to stop going to Costco because like sometimes these crazy people will go like at 5 p.m. on like a Sunday. And I'm like, dude, everybody and their mother's here right now because they're getting shit for the week. The opportune time here to go to Costco is like Wednesday at 1 p.m.
Yeah, we go at like Thursdays at like 11
Yeah.
a.m. or something.
Yeah.
But I feel a billion years old.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I feel you.
So, yeah, I went to the mall yesterday. And I don't go I used to go to the mall all the time because I like worked in a department store in the mall
Yeah.
like during college and stuff. And so I would like be at the mall and then I'd like go shopping sometimes. I was at the mall all the time. I haven't stepped foot in the mall in pretty much since I quit that job.
Yeah.
And I went back because that's where our Barnes and Noble is. It's located in the mall. Um,
So weird. But okay.
that was an overstimulating experience because I'm normally a half price books or like online or Kindle girly because,
Mm-hmm.
or like library because I don't know. I've just recently been like, fuck it, I'm buying all these books.
Yeah.
Um,
True.
and I needed to go, and I have like a gift card to Barnes and Noble, so I was like, I'll go there. I don't, free.
Yeah.
And the lights felt like they were somehow 110% on.
Uh-uh.
Don't know.
It's like a
The music
hospital.
wasn't, no, it felt like a hospital. The music wasn't like too loud, but it was playing. And then there was just
Mm-hmm.
like, not like a lot of people, but like just kind of like if you wanted to go look at a table, like there was at least one person in every section.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Um, and
Mm-mm.
it was like Thursday at like 4. So like, yeah, like everyone was getting off of school and stuff. And first of all, there's so many books because if you go into half price books, they're not like huge, you know what I mean? And it's a lot of used stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have very small like news sections.
Yeah.
Um and it's very like it's a good easy browsing experience because it's just like you're wandering around like you're not sure what you're gonna find. But I was like looking for something, so I was like, I feel like I can't find it. I don't know where I am,
Yeah.
and there's too many people here. I did find it. I so I picked this up,
Mm-hmm.
and Barnes and Noble has like a special edition. So the regular edition of this is like
The white.
white,
Yeah.
and they
I like that
only
one
had this
better
one.
because it
Really?
matches Powerless. I like that one a lot better with the red, like blood on the needle and like the
Yeah.
red thread. It just looks so much better, and I feel like it works better with how her story ends up going. Obviously, because they fucking kill her. I don't know.
So yeah,
Spoilers if you haven't read Powerless, but like,
please come on. Yeah, look how much smaller it is too. Hold on.
it's itty bitty and
It's
adorable.
itty bitty. Like it's so cute. It just feels like I could put this in my pocket and go anywhere.
Yeah, it's like a
Um,
Kindle.
so it's literally the size of my Kindle. That's
Yeah,
crazy. So I'm halfway through this, pretty
slay.
much exactly halfway through this, and it's kind of interesting because I was like, this just feels like obviously it's a novella. If you don't know,
Mm-hmm.
Powerful is a novella. It's like 1.5 in the series. And I was telling Rachel, because we were like kind of like I don't know if I want to read that, and I was like I'm gonna read it because I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I miss Powerless. I'm waiting for
Yeah.
Reckless to come out in like July,
Mm-hmm.
and I needed a hit. I feel like a junkie who needs a hit.
Yeah.
Um,
So true.
but it's so the Powerless is almost 500 pages. It's like 490 pages.
Yeah.
This novella is 220 pages. And it's like because the pages are shorter, like it really if you made it the full size, it probably wouldn't even hit like barely 200 pages.
Mm-hmm.
So it just feels like the story's moving really, really fast. And I kind of like, I get that. It's a novella. It's meant to be short. It's meant to be like, here's just a glimpse. Like, you already know what happened in the first book. So it's just like from someone else's perspective, like really quickly and kind of like what they happened in like their time that you didn't see them on the screen per se, on the
Yeah.
page.
On the page. It's a screen
Um,
for sure
in my head.
in my brain.
Um, and so it's kind of interesting. But now I'm I don't know. We learned some things.
Okay.
Would you like me to explain
Yeah.
or
Honestly, I don't think I'm gonna read it. I just
okay,
don't.
perfect.
I like Powerless and I love the universe. I'm just like, well, if I don't care about that side character like as much, I don't
Hmm.
feel any like. But if she does write one about Kit, yeah, I'll be reading it because it's like I care about
So,
his character's more relevant in my brain. In
mhm.
my screen, he's there.
I don't know if she's gonna write one about Kit because he technically it's like a dual POV and Powerless. Like they are getting their own
So
book in a
true.
sense. But I don't know because we don't know how the next book goes. But she did say so everyone was like freaking out. They're like, this is a completely different size than the regular book. Like the dimensions are
But
weird.
why would
And
you
she was
freak
like,
out?
I think some people like wanted them to sit on their bookshelf next to each other and they're like
Unlike
they look
match.
weird next to each other. And she was like, "Don't
Don't worry.
worry. Like there's going to be more novellas and all the novellas are going to be this size and all the regular books are going to be this size so they're like differentiated."
Yeah.
Um And I was like, I kind of like the small book. She
Oh my
eats.
god.
She's
You know
skinny.
you know what I just realized? Reckless is
What?
only going to come out in a paperback in July. I mean, in a hardcover in July, and I only have the paperback of Powerless because for some fucking
Oh.
reason in my brain I was like, I have this thing where I'm like, no, that's a paperback book. No, that's a
Mm.
hardcover. Like Powerless for some reason was a paperback. I don't know. I think it because it was something that I saw people put tabs in and annotate, and I was like, oh well, that's going to be easier in a paperback for me because I can like
Mm-hmm.
easily. I don't ask questions, but it's like
I
something like Carval like can be a paperback set because it's like
yeah.
you know
I do it more based on like if I really care about the book or not. So like
that yeah
I guess I just got Powerless in hardback because it was the only one I could find in person without having to like
yeah
order. And now I'm like I want all of them in hardback. But I
yeah.
agree. Like I
So
have like the Inheritance games, Carval, all in paperback. I have Lightlark in paperback and Nightbane in hardback because like Nightbane's newer, and now I'm like I
me
don't really
too, but
care,
like
but
they're kind of the same size. They're right there.
yeah, I'm
Sorry,
looking
I
at them
just
on my
like this
shelf.
is my reference, but they're right here.
I'm staring across my room at mine. I just
Yeah,
redid my bookshelf. I
it
say
looks
original
so
pick.
good. It looks so good.
I'm like it was just a hot mess because I don't know,
It looks so
and
good though.
I'm still thinking about moving it. Not that y'all know what my room looks like, but to like
Room
this wall with
tour.
room door, which would be like directly across from my window.
Yeah,
But
that'd be
I like
cute.
obviously just redid the bookshelf, and I was like, oh, the time to move it was when it was empty. Although it probably there's not as much stuff on it now, and it'd probably be super easy to like move.
Uh huh.
I don't know. Still debating. Also, part of me is like, I really don't care. Anyways,
Yeah.
powerful.
Powerful.
So if you don't know, it follows Adina's story, which is Peyton's like friend and like quote unquote like sister
Yeah.
from Loot. They like
Give me
found
the
each
loot.
other
Sorry.
when
Loot.
yes. Um they like found each other in the streets and like kind of
They're like
came together
orphans.
because yeah, Peyton could steal and Adina could like make clothes and make money off of that, so they kind of like worked together and became like found family. And it's not like it's like part of the storyline in the first book, but it's kind of more just like, yeah, this is Adina and like this is what she means to me. Whereas like I don't know. Adina's story is just while like Peyton's in the trials. So it literally picks up right when Peyton's getting into the carriage to go to the castle to start the trials.
Mm.
Which is also where she meets Mac. Um, so this is also a dual POV between Adina and Mac, who watched his friend Hera get into the carriage
Oh,
at the
okay.
same
I
moment.
remember him.
Yeah. I actually don't know if they talked about him or like if Hera just said she knew something about him. I like can't remember a lot. I'm gonna do a reread of Powerless before
Oh,
Reckless.
yeah.
But
That's probably a
anyways,
good idea.
um, and so basically, Adina can't steal. She's super worried now that like Peyton's gone because she's like I don't know how to steal food for myself and like I don't make a lot of money from the clothes I make. And so she tries stealing something and she almost gets caught and Mac saves her. And he kind of like sussed her out when they were like getting in the carriage and she was like waving bye to Peyton and he was like,
Mm.
"Oh, she's going to work into my plan." But you're not really sure what like his plan is. Um
Mm.
but like he saves her and he's like, "Okay, I need your help. Like I saved you, but like I also like found you for a reason."
Yeah.
And he wants her to make him an imperial uniform so he can sneak into the
You'd sneak
castle.
in. Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, I need to give something to Hera before the trials start." And she
Oh.
was like, "Okay." And like he wouldn't really answer any of her questions and she's like, "Fine, like we can have secrets." And over like the course of a week, they like get to know each other and he kind of teaches her how to like fight a little bit cuz she's like, she's small and she's helpless and she's young. And
Obviously.
yeah, he's a blacksmith and like he makes all of his money like doing that and like selling weapons to people and he like doesn't steal. Um but like he helps like feed her and like some guys try and attack her cuz they know she's alone now and he like fights them off for her. And like right before like the day they're supposed to like sneak into the castle together, like him and her. And like the day of, like they're gonna go at night. The people come and like pick her up and they're like, "Oh, Peyton wants you to be her seamstress. Like you have to come to the castle with us." And she's like, "Okay, easy way out, slay." And she like goes up to him. She's like, "Okay, I have to say bye to my friend." So she finds him real
Mm.
quick and is like, "Oh, I'm going. Like this is so great. Like I found my way into the castle. Like I'm gonna be like safe with my friend and like doing stuff for her. It's fine." And he's like, "No, I needed you." And she's like, "No, you don't need me. Like I made your like uniform. Like you can do it yourself." And he's like, "No, I like that wasn't." So Adina, remember everyone has like special powers. Well, Adina's is
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
phaser, which means she can like walk through walls. And when he saves her the first time, he like phases, and so she thinks he's a phaser. Well, it turns out he's actually oh, and in the cover of this book, like you know how normally there's a map, they
Uh-huh.
have the like the list of the abilities.
Oh, okay, so I do need to buy that.
Um
I need my list.
and um okay, there's the elites, right? And the only recorded elite is the wielder, which means you can wield everyone else's power. And as we remember, Kai is a wielder.
Of course.
And there's only one. And technically, we're supposed to think Kai is the only wielder. But
I think I
like
just figured it out.
Adina said, like Adina's like, she finds out he's a wielder because he's like, no, I needed you to phase. And she's like, what do you mean you needed me to phase? And he's like, well, I'm not a phaser. I'm a wielder.
Mm-hmm.
Which he was like trying to keep secret because they basically kill everyone who's a wielder because there's only supposed to be one. It's supposed to be super special, but like it's not. Like, come on.
Yeah.
And so like, and then at the same, like she's leaving, he's telling her this, and then she's also figuring out that um he wasn't trying to like give something to Hera or like help her in some way. Like he was trying to like sneak her out, and like they were gonna leave the kingdom, like they were gonna escape. And Adina's like, why didn't you tell me? Like, he's like, I have nothing left. Like, she was the only thing I had left. And, and she's like, you're gonna die doing that. Like, if he's like, I was gonna die anyways because I'm like a wielder. The way I'm
Right.
explaining this conversation doesn't make sense, but they're kind of like figuring this out, whatever. And she's super heartbroken because she's like, you had me now. Like, we were friends. Like, we were helping each other. Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
weren't alone. And I'm confused because I'm only halfway through and we haven't figured
Mm-hmm.
this out yet. Is it sounds like so obviously because he's a wielder and whatever his dad like beat him as a kid, fantasy trope, dystopian trope, anyways.
Yeah, everyone's dad be beating them. Maybe that's why I like
So
fantasy so much, because it's just that sounded weird, but like I love like a tortured male character.
mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, he has like a scar on his lip,
Oh,
like through his lips. And
hey!
I haven't looked up fan art yet because I was a little afraid if I looked it up it was gonna like spoil it for me.
So I'm gonna look it up
No, like I don't know what he looks like and I think we should do a live reaction.
right now.
Yeah, and so like he's obviously
Okay.
super moody, but like Adina's like bubbly, sunshiny, like always trying to get everyone to smile and whatever. And
Exactly.
right, and he like she brings that out in him. But what I'm confused is it sounds like and Harris saved him as a kid. Like his dad was beating him, and his dad wanted Mac to turn himself in as the wielder, but he knew he was going to get killed, so he didn't. And Hera saved him. Right? They don't get like super in depth, but he's like, Hera saved me. Like she was the one who'd been like watching my back
Mm.
for years, like whatever. And it sounds like they're in love, but then it sounds like he felt like in the week that they knew each other, it kind of makes it sound like they were falling in love with each other and like becoming good
Ah,
friends, maybe more. But now she's in the castle, like sewing the silver dress for Peyton, which still want that.
slay.
And I don't know. Well, he was still gonna sneak in because he had the uniform, but now he just can't phase through. He just has to, like blend in as an Imperial. Um, so I don't know what's gonna happen because obviously, like we know Adina
Mm-hmm.
dies at the end of this because of powerless, and I'm like, is
Right.
it because Mac kind of throws her under the bus to get away, or is he trying to save her, or I don't know. It feels really tragic. I'm scared, but like, thank God it's only 220 pages. Like, I love an easy read.
Yeah.
Okay, Mac and
No.
Adina. Well, okay, this is just a picture of a man.
I
Oh,
love when they do that.
okay, no powerful fan art. Mm. Okay, that's
Nothing's coming up.
powerful fan art. Adina. Okay, I'm getting like every book but the the one I'm reading. I got Belladonna.
Maybe. Oh, 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 oh. That's like literally not even the right fucking thing. Like, at all.
I'm not getting anything. I'm getting like every. I got one of Peyton. Hmm.
I'm so confused. Whatever. He's hot in my brain, so it's fine.
He has like dark, kind of like longish hair. Just so, like,
Okay.
oh, he could tie it back, but it always like falls out.
Uh,
Powerless. Lauren Roberts. Hmm. Also, I'm another question I have. So everyone's saying in Powerless, Kai's supposed to have like a southern accent. Allegedly, like that's what people have said.
oh, yeah, because he says darlin', but he says it with a southern. I think that's just the fucking audiobook reader.
Okay.
It's kind of
I
weird,
like never
though.
I never read it like that. But
I
then
never
I
read it
think
like that either.
I was just like, oh, he's just kind of like what's that TikTok audio? Darling.
Darling! Yeah, that's him, actually.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
I don't know. So in Powerful, he's always calling her hun.
So, this is the South.
I'm like, so where do y'all live? It kind of sounds like they live in West Virginia or like in the Virginias where like the mountains and everything.
Yes, West Virginia.
Yeah.
Mountain
Mountain
Mama.
mama.
I love that song. Take me home.
Yum.
So I'm still looking at like bad
I know.
fan
I'm
art.
like really. I feel like no one's made it. Like no one cares.
Yeah, no one's gotten like no one's got the like iPad drawing app out yet for this one.
Well, when did this come out? Like kind of recently.
Yeah, I think
Peyton.
so.
Oh, okay.
Take me home.
Oh, and like he has this dark hair, but when he like brushes his hands through it or something, there's like a gray streak, like by his like temple or something. And she's like, "Oh, it reminds me of Peyton."
Oh, I just want to know how that happens in like the medieval because it's not like oh you're old like you kind of have graying hair. It's like no, you literally just have a silver streak.
I mean, I knew someone who had like literally like right here, she just had like a gray streak of hair,
Like
like
Anna in
genetically.
Frozen.
Yeah, literally. And she always dyed it. And then one time, like she went like a little bit longer and was like, "Do you?" Like, I wasn't like being rude, and I was like, "Gray hair," and she's like, "Oh yeah, I have a gray streak. I've always had it."
God, I
I don't
fucking
know, like
love
just
that.
pigmentation didn't like she didn't
Develop.
genetically get it in that spot.
That's epic though.
Nah, I'm. Why there is like no fan art of them to even like Peyton and Adina. I saw one picture the other day, and it wasn't my favorite. I feel like they make Peyton too skinny, but I guess she
They
is skinny because
do.
she doesn't eat.
They make her like Skeletor though, and I just
I'm
like
like, mm,
no.
mm.
I was talking about this. I was like, oh, I was talking to my camera because I'm filming something, but I was like, I know y'all read these books as YN, like, come on, because
Come on.
oh, I was also talking to my friend Lauren about this, but we were talking about height in books and how like we were talking about like okay so what does every guy in a book have? He is really angular, like his facial features. He has at least one dimple, at least.
Mm-hmm.
um
Absolutely requirement.
he's abnormally tall, like too
Always.
tall.
He's
So then
6'5", and I'm like,
yeah,
that's a little too tall.
so then we got on this whole like topic of like why is the guy always abnormally tall and then we have a girl who's like 5'9", and it's like and then they describe them like hugging or like in Powerless, like there's like I feel like definitely multiple scenes where Kai will like put his chin on the top of her head. But if she's like 5 foot and he's like 6'5", he's like hunchback. He's what's Gizmo?
Gizmo.
Gizmo. Um.
Oh my god.
Oh my
One
god,
time I was
Gizmo.
trying to remember, what's his name?
Quasimodo. We
I
were
was trying to
playing.
remember.
We were playing Heads Up, like the little phone game, and we were playing like the Disney characters one, and like my clue on the screen was Quasimodo. And then Lucy goes, Gizmo.
No, I thought it was. Oh no, it was like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Or
Oh
something.
yes, it was.
And I was
yeah,
like,
it was.
and I couldn't remember, and I just like the first thing that came to my mind was
Gizmo.
Gizmo.
I love Gizmo. So anyway, Gizmo's like 6'5", and if she's like 5 foot, like he's hunching over to like, even if they like hug or kiss or anything, and it just makes no sense. And I was like, oh yeah, when I see that these girls in these books are like so small and like, I'm like, no, I'm imagining it as my height because that's how I see the world.
Yeah.
And if I'm reading it, and if it's in their point of view, I'm seeing it in like my eyes.
But I was on a little bit
I
of a
don't know.
cowboy tangent this week, reading all of
Yes.
Elsie Silver's like Reckless series,
Powerless.
Chestnut Springs.
I'm a little behind you, but yes.
I need to read the last one. I've been putting it off. Literally, I read all 4 of the books this week.
She's insane.
Anyways, I got a little. I kind of got worn out by the 4th one, so I've been taking a break, which is why I picked up this the other day to whatever. And I feel like they're doing this like multiple times because I like clock this every time in my brain where I'm like, that doesn't logistically make sense. It's like it's the same thing, like, oh, I put my chin on her head, or like I whisper in her ear, and it sounds like it's just like this, but like if he's 6'7", he's like it makes no sense. And like the only one where I'm like, okay, maybe is in the 3rd one where it's Jasper and
Sloane.
Anyways, I don't like that he calls her Sunny because it's too close to summer. I mean, I do like that he called her that, but I get confused. Anyways.
No, you're so right.
He's supposed to be like 6'5", like huge, massive, goalie,
I think
like
he
so
says
tall.
he's 6'3".
And she's taller. She's like 5'9", 5'10", because she's like a dancer.
Right.
And so like she is naturally like long.
It works.
Which in my mind I'm like, okay, that I could see being like maybe a little bit more comparable, but no, like it's just in all of them it's always like he leans down. I'm like, so is she in heels? Like how?
Yeah, like what's going on?
How is she getting up there? How are you getting down?
Yeah, it's
makes no sense to me.
Anyways, I don't know.
So that's my rant about that. What are you reading this week, Rachel?
Well, I'm currently reading the one you're talking about with Jasper and Sloane, which is also called Powerless. Can we think of an original title for the love of God? It's ridiculous.
No, simply no.
But I finished the other 2, so I finished Heartless and What's the one with Rhett?
Reckless.
Summer. Reckless. Heartless. Heartless is the one with Cade because he's like, oh, I'm like, I don't have emotions.
Yeah. Which arguably that should be Winters, but whatever.
Whatever. Anyway, so I read those 2, and then I'm currently reading Powerless, but the
no, it's
cowboy
Flawless,
version.
Heartless,
Flawless,
Powerless, Reckless. Okay,
got it.
That makes more sense.
Okay, so I read Heartless, Flawless, reading Powerless, And I'm also reading. I started while I was doing my proctoring time. There's another book I'm reading that I'm not talking about because it's not for the pod, but um,
We'll get there, you know.
we'll get there. You'll see it one day. So I'm reading that, but then I was like, I don't want to be reading that while I'm supposed to be proctoring because like I want to read the book for my own challenge with
Mm-hmm.
like as much attention as possible. So I had this on my shelf, which is the sequel to Belladonna. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh, you know what? I wanted to read the sequel. I have it on my shelf. Let's just bring it to work. And I'm like a little over halfway done.
So,
And it was really good. I was like, oh, wait, this is actually kind of eating because we have another homie entering the chat. Another, I don't know what to call them, but like Death is a person in the first one, and Death is still a person in this one, but now we have his brother, Fate. And they all
okay,
look
I
like
love
Hades to
Fate.
me.
You love Death. I love Fate.
I'm really liking Fate. He's kind of it. He's disguising himself as like a prince. So he's mainly in his like human body form where Death isn't really cuz he's kind of like still very like he kind of stays in his shadow form, which is fine. But I like that Fate is a human, like a touchable, tangible human, but he's like actually like a god. I don't know, it's just like
It's a lot more like once where like Jax is a person.
yeah. Or like yes. Yes, exactly like that. Um but so this book is broken up into parts. So there was part 1. I'm in part 2 right now. And part 1 was so good. I was like breezing through. I was like, "Oh yeah, plot." Because Fate entered the chat. Someone else died, so new murder mystery to solve. And Fate was playing all these games against Cigna, being like, "Oh, by the way, I used to be in love with this girl who the girl her she's life. So she's kind of like Mother Nature in a way." He's
Okay,
like, "Oh
Lana
yeah,
Del Rey.
yeah, she's Lana." So I was like, he's like, "Oh, I used to like be in love with this girl, but death took her from me. So now I hate my brother because he like took the love of my life away." Oh,
Feud.
and by the way, Cigna, you're her, like reincarnated. And she's like, "No." Because the last book, it ended with her finding out that she's like a reaper, like a grim reaper kind of thing. And she's like, "Oh, I've just come to terms with the fact that I'm like a death bringer, like I can kill people and like take their
Wait, I don't
souls."
remember that. I
Oh.
I
So
feel like I
plot
don't remember that. And I just
twist.
edited that episode too.
Well, maybe I wasn't finished with the book yet.
I thought you were, but maybe you were like this close to being done.
Well, anyway, death is like, "Hey, girl," at the end of Belladonna.
Hey,
So
little
yeah, the,
mama.
the the reason why you can do all of that and you can like see me and we have like this connection, um, is because you're a Reaper. Like
Maybe you did say that.
we're kind of on the same team, you know. But like they're in love, like in love, and so
Mm-hmm.
it's just kind of weird because like she can't like really. Sometimes she can see him when she like eats her little berries, but like he gets really mad at her when she does that because she's like basically dying. Um, and she's like,
She's like
"This should be
microdosing
for."
poison.
Yeah, she actually is. And he's like, "You should only use those like for emergencies." Um,
Okay, yeah.
but then we have Fate, who's like, "Oh, by the way, like in another life, like you used to be like my wife or something." We had another like my wife situation.
I think I did read this in your review. That's crazy.
um, and then she's like, "No, like that's not possible. Like I'm a reaper. Like I don't give life. Like I take life." And he's like, "Well, you just wait and see."
So she's not a reaper, she's something else. And
Yeah, so I think that she's slowly figuring out that she is life, or maybe she's something else entirely. Like she has both powers, because like so Fate weaves like he basically weaves tapestries, but not like that. Like he weaves like these like cords of string of like your life, and they're all different
Yeah,
colors.
I
But
get it. I see.
but Cigna's is like like all of these people have different colors. So it's like, oh, you get yellow for all of your like happy moments or something. Like there's different colors. Like everyone kind of has like their
It's like
colors.
those weather blankets that people make.
Yeah, but Cigna's is like silver, and no one else has silver in there.
Like a
He's
whole
like
thing silver.
he's like I don't make silver. Fate's like that's not in my workshop. So, and then her hair starts slowly turning like silver, like streaks. And she's like, "What the fuck?" And then her cousin's like, "What the fuck?" Like she's like, "I always liked you, Cigna, but like there was always something weird about you, and I just thought you were like quirky and different. But like turns out you're quirky and different. Like
Different, bad,
she's like, you're always like
derogatory.
talking. Yeah, derogatory. She's like, you're always like talking to someone. And she goes, oh yeah, the Shadow Man, the Hat
Oh,
Man.
him. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. It's just,
No, it's not crack.
it's just low key. The plot is kind of slowing down
Mm.
because like we're not any closer to solving like the murder, which is like the underlying like base of the plot. And I'm just like, okay, so like one day it's gonna be the
Interesting.
brother. Like it's gonna be I don't know if you remember that, but her
There's
like
only so
adoptive
many
father,
people.
yeah, her
Mhm.
adopted father has a brother, and I'm just waiting for the brother to kill someone
Come on.
because it's like we thought it was gonna be him in the last one, but it wasn't, and I'm like, come on,
Well,
that
that's
sorry,
interesting. No, I'm like, okay.
it's a lot, and I'm just kind of like I'm at a point right now, and I think it's because I've just read so much because it's been the only thing I could do
Hmm.
while I like proctor the exams that I'm like I don't even want to read anything right now. I'm
I
kind of itching for a serial killer
kind
romance.
Oh, well, I
I
saw a
need
whole
something.
table full at Barnes and
I
Noble the other day.
I need something to hit like that. You know,
Well, there's like a million and 10 things. I
that's
think
true.
one of the reasons I started like panicking in Barnes and Noble yesterday was because like I said, I consume a lot of my content like for books online, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So like Goodreads or like I'll see book recs from people I follow on TikTok or whatever, and I'll like go and add them, and it's like my TBR on Goodreads or like my wanna reads don't doesn't really stress me out because like to be honest, if I never read any of those books, like it's fine. I usually like
Mm-hmm.
know what I want to read next. Um, but it's always like interesting to be like, oh, I forgot like I put this book and this does sound interesting. But when I like was in person in Barnes and Noble and I like kept seeing every book that I was like, oh, I kind of want to read that. And I kind of want to read that, and like having it physically in front of me and able to like pick it up, I was like, do I get it? Do I not get it? Does this actually
Yeah,
sound like now that it's in my hands, I'm like, I don't want to read this anymore. This sounds like shit.
yeah. I think there's like a thing with Goodreads where it's like it's so far removed almost of like, oh, I can just add this in and there's no harm or foul in it. But
Yeah,
if I buy it, I'm
I
stuck.
have
I'm
to
not
read
stuck with
it.
it, but I'm like I have to read it. That's like me with Emily Wilde. Is like I added it to my Goodreads, no consequence. Bought it, consequence because it's bad.
I still haven't picked that one up.
That's
I'm just
okay.
like staring at my bookshelf full of things that I'm like haven't even opened. I'm like, oh no.
I would personally say you should read Ballad. I've been doing a reread of that as well.
So
I
I
mean,
did pick
yeah,
it up.
that was the one.
I'm like
Okay,
maybe 10 or 20 pages in.
Slay.
I just like I was on that my Elsie Silver kick, and then I burnt myself out and I was like, hey, maybe I should like read something like that. And I just picked it up and I was like, not in the mood. I don't know why. I think also part of it's like I want to be in a mood to like really read it and enjoy it and not just like force myself to read it and like that I'm going to be like, well, I didn't like it because I like didn't wasn't in a good mood. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
hoping that like reading powerful and like, you know, I'll get back to it. I'm also trying to like I was reading the first couple pages and I was like, what even happened in the first book? I don't remember.
Well, Apollo's in this like suspended state.
Yes, yes.
She's
So
like, we need to wake him up. And Jax is like, what if you didn't though?
they
Plot
escaped the
summary.
vampire den. I don't know why, like the biggest part of that book I was like vampire den.
Because
That's
it's
all I
like
fucking remember.
probably one of the main like tensiony scenes
It's a good
in that
chunk of the
book.
book, I would
It
say.
is. Yeah.
So they escaped that and then she's in his apartment. It's like Jax's apartment.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just thinking about him having like a mortal apartment with his Porsche.
Obviously. And then she like
Oof.
sees the books,
Uh-huh.
and those books were about the family and the Gates, right? The royal family.
Um no, this
Like
is when
no,
she
this
finds
is
the
the little
book.
fox. Okay. So go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, there is a copy of Ballad of the Archer and the Fox, which she's like, why the fuck does he have this? Um you'll find out later why he has that. um but I think she also finds the book that like Jax was like, oh wait, your sister had that book? Oh, she's doing some messed up magic. And she's like, no, it's a
Yeah.
cookbook. And he goes, yeah, like a cookbook for meth.
And she does she sneak back in or does she
Yeah,
storm back into the
she
castle?
sneaks back into the castle and like sees Marisol like in her Evangeline's old room, like in like the princess, gowns and stuff like that, because like she's gonna like now become the princess or like the
Because
queen
she's
or
gonna marry
whatever.
the cousin.
Yeah.
And she tells her off, and then she gets everyone to believe that she didn't poison the king.
Uh-huh. Which she didn't,
She
but
didn't.
she was still playing games with Evangeline, being because she tricked Luke into marrying her. Um
Yeah.
and then she was gonna trick Tiberius, his brother, into marrying her. But it was actually Tiberius who wanted to poison Evangeline, but he accidentally poisoned his brother.
Who is
Slay.
just in this frozen state, but that's because of Jax or because of.
No, Jax didn't do that. He's not that
Okay.
evil.
But
No,
someone
like
like bought poison that like.
the like poison was from Tiberius that made
Oh,
Apollo
okay.
be
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
bah.
Yeah. And she comes back and she is like, no, I'm still the queen, blah, blah. And then the servants are like, oh, you want to see him?
Yeah. Her the main guard, like Apollo's main like right hand man
Who
is like,
like trusted her.
yeah. He was like, so you want to see the body? And she's like, okay. So they go in its like crypt to see the body,
And
and
he's
it's
just
just
like,
Apollo. And she's like, hello. And she's trying to do all this like weird fairy tale shit. She's like, oh my god, if I kiss him, like it's Snow White, like, or like Sleepy Beauty, like
yeah.
he'll wake up. Girl, it don't work like that. And then
Well,
she's
and then
like,
why does she. Sorry.
your question?
Why does she get mad at Jax?
Well, one, who isn't mad at Jax? Well, I'm, but like, when is she not mad at Jax?
But I thought we liked him.
We'll
now.
get there. Oh no.
Okay.
She never like. She likes him. She won't admit it. So she's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I have to hate him. But anyway, so she goes. She's like, oh well, I guess maybe she's like thinking, because she's like, I'm remembering Jack saying something about like, well, we have to open the arch, the Valerie arch.
And she doesn't want to be part
And
of
she's
that.
like, I don't want to be part of that because you're going to do something bad with it. Which he's not going to do something great, but you'll find
She's a little
out.
too self-righteous.
She is, because it's like he's not her. Like, yeah, he kind of put you through these tests of like fulfilling the prophecy, but like
You wouldn't have done it anyways.
yeah, I just like so she was going to open the arch. She's like, maybe like I should find out like more about this, like the old royal family and like the arch. Like, what does it mean? So she goes to that door with the wolf's head on it with the crown.
Yeah.
And she figures out that she can open the doors like with her blood.
Because she's some like weird key that can open everything.
Yeah. So she does that and she opens the door with Jack's dagger, by the way, that he like gave her.
Mhm.
So when is a man going to give me a bejeweled dagger?
Oh, I've genuinely, I don't know if I should admit this to the internet, but I've been thinking about getting like a pocket knife.
Oh,
I don't
Lucy!
know. I don't know.
Like,
Everyone needs for like not like just to like have a pocket knife,
like,
for
for
protection.
what?
I don't know. Like instead of pepper spray, which
Oh,
I
so
lost.
true.
I don't know where that is. Well, the
I
pepper spray
still,
expires, and you're more likely to actually injure yourself than like do any like harm to someone else.
I'm getting a switchblade and I'm bedazzling it.
Aren't those like illegal?
Like, yeah, no, they're illegal if they're like spring loaded. So if you have a not spring loaded one. You remember in The Outsiders when
Okay.
they all had switchblades and they fight with their switchblades?
Yeah, and I forever have since wanted a switchblade.
Since
I'm just
seventh
a
grade.
girl.
I'm just a girl who wants a switchblade.
Literally.
Anyway, so she's like, I'm gonna go open the door and like figure out like what the fuck in there.
The prophecy, yeah. And yeah.
But she opens the door and she's like, this shit empty. Well, it's not
Is that in the
empty. It's not
is that in
empty.
the first book or the second book? I can't remember. I also
we're
need
doing
to
a. Hang on, I'm gonna find out right now. Because it's
I
like,
also need to order the other books in the correct covers.
oh, okay. So, Once Upon a Broken Heart ends with her opening the door,
Yeah.
and the wolf's head like moves and it like smiles, like creepy. Book
Yeah.
ends.
That's kind of how it opens in the first one too.
Yeah. So then the then Ballad opens with her going into the room and she's like expecting to find all these books, like history
And it's
books
just
about,
empty.
and it's empty except for this stone arch. And she's like,
Oh, was that the arch?
yeah, and then Jax pops out of fucking nowhere and he goes, hey babe, so you
Can't believe you did it.
yes queen, pop that.
So proud. Oh.
Boots the house down, boots the arch down.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's back and she's like, oh fuck, you're back, like thought I got rid
Damn
of
it.
you. And he's like, can't get rid of me, bitch.
Literally.
So Jax is like, so you're gonna open the arch, right? Like that, we're gonna do that now. And she's like, no, I'm not doing that for you. Like, I'm only doing this to like, I only want to try to save Apollo. Like, he's
I don't
my
know why she
husband.
likes that crusty motherfucker.
Yes,
Sorry.
She's no, so true. He is crusty. So anyway, Jax
He's
is
like
like,
fine. He's just like the right choice.
Mm-mm.
Ugh.
He's awful. He's a horrible
Brother,
human being. Brother, so Jax is like, hey, so we're doing that, and she's like, I only want to save Apollo. And he's like, well, actually, hey, the only way to save Apollo is to open the arch. So
So he's
technically,
lying though.
he's like, technically we both win. Well, actually, not really. He's actually not totally lying.
Okay.
He's always doing a trick, but
Yeah.
Won't go into too much detail, but he's like,
I'll get back on this book. Now I'm invested again.
so now he's like, well, the arch is kind of in shambles, if you will, but it needs they need to go collect the Infinity Stones, essentially, like from Marvel. So Jax is like, well, I know where we need to start, and then dun dun dun, enter the vampires. They're back.
Oh.
No, they're good. They create for some, like, Jax and Chaos are like two of my favorite. Like, it's giving brother relationship, and I love a brother relationship, so I love their like banter together. It's so good.
Okay. Well, I'm feeling more empowered to go actually start and finish the book.
Yay.
So, okay. Well, yeah, I didn't have a lot going on this week besides
Yeah.
just being a demon on the Kindle, per usual.
Yeah. Demon on a Kindle.
I need to call them and get my ads removed. Like,
Can't do it anymore. Can't do the baby
I
sleepy
saw,
time stories anymore.
yeah, I saw a TikTok of someone complaining about it, and I was like, yeah, I need to get on that.
Mine right now is like just a random book.
Every once in a while, they'll give me like a book rec from an author that I like have read on my Kindle
Oh,
before, and I'm like, okay.
that's smart. I like that.
But most of the time, it's either shirtless men or a weird anime story. It's been a lot of Mother's Day stories this week.
Oh,
Everyone tell your mom you love them.
mine's always like baby sleepy time. Like,
Literally.
okay, how did you know I was reading that?
I just don't understand. Like, is Kindle making money from that?
I don't know.
Apparently, I think they are, because it's like obviously people pay to have their ads up there, and then also you have to pay to get them removed. But like, from what I've heard, you can just call them and they'll remove them for you.
Oh.
And so I'm like, so are you really making money off of this? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Did think about buying a new Kindle because they have one in a blue color, and I was like, I don't need a new fucking Kindle. I'm crazy.
Oh my God. Look at my sticker.
Oh,
It's a little
I
frog
can't really
and he's
see
in
what
heels.
that is.
Oh, I'll send you a photo. It just says "Go away, I'm reading," and it's this frog who's in like little red pumps, and he's sitting on a mushroom and he's reading.
Boots the house down.
Boots the house down, and it's so like fantasy because it's like that's me. I'm the frog.
Yeah. Well, good chat.
Yeah,
And
nothing
great.
crazy this week. And go team.
Woo.
Woo.
Slay. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Podians. Bye, mammals.
I can't reach my button.
That's okay. I hate it here.
Look at my bookmark.
Hello.
Rachel made this for me.